Okay. So that's done. Okay, I'm going to start the webinar just in case that there are people who are waiting in attendees so we can let them in.
Yes, please.
Which starts the recording. That is as it should be. Let's see. Roberta, unless you have a need or an objection, I'm going to, once you get your critical mass going, I'm going to transfer host to you and then just leave the meeting.
Perfect. Thank you. Hey, Louisa. If you unmute, we can hear you.
Hi, Roberta. Hi, Mark.
Good morning. Good to see you.
I think I see you all more than my husband.
Well, in an unrelated story, I'm now separated, so. Hey, this is the Rita week. We can see Rita more than once in a week. That's pretty cool.
Hey, Daniel. No, you just muted.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning, Rita.
Good morning.
Beautiful day.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to get a background.
Do you know how to do it?
I looked up how to do it. I haven't tried yet.
Works better apparently if you have a blank wall or a blank screen right behind you.
I apparently now do.
Okay.
The quilt fell down and I haven't put it back up.
Oh, that was such a trademark of yours.
Hey, Cindy. Hey, Eric.
Interesting meeting last night.
Good morning, everybody.
Hi, Cindy.
Yes,
Hi.
it was, Cindy.
Hi, Louise.
Doing okay.
So that was an interesting meeting last night.
It was.
Everybody really is always genuinely themselves on that board.
Yep.
You can pretty much predict how things are going to go. No need to say anything. Don't want to get you in trouble.
Morning, everybody.
Morning, Paula.
Hi, Cindy. It's been a while.
Mark.
Hey, Madge, how you doing?
Good. How are you? Hi, Roberta.
Good.
The person that has Lecter Can you unmute?
I'm sorry,
Yes,
who do I need to
I was
unmute?
just changing my name. Sorry.
That's great.
Hi.
Thanks.
Sorry, I was just changing my name.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're just waiting a couple more minutes as people filter in. Hi, Hannah.
Morning, how are you?
Good. We're just waiting about another minute just before we start. Hi, Mark. Hi, Bonnie.
Hi.
So
Sorry, noise
maybe-
in my background. I'm going to mute myself.
I think we should get started. So welcome everybody to our senior task force meeting. I guess we'll start off, Janet, we'll start off with our May 26th event.
Yes.
I believe I've sent everyone except Betsy, you haven't received it yet, our flyer for our May 26th Vision and Hearing Tips and Tech webinar. I know that some of the electeds have already started sending out the information on their e-blasts. Janet, you want to talk a little about what it's going to be?
Sure. Thanks, Roberta. Yeah, we're Vision and Hearing Tips and Tech, and this is Better Hearing and Speech Month, as well as Healthy Vision Month. So we are Lighthouse Guild, and we're representing the vision component, and the Center for Hearing and Communication will be providing tips and tech related to hearing, and it's a partnership that we've worked on for quite a while. We're going to have it's May 26th, starting at 10:30, going till about 11:30, 11:45. It's virtual, of course. And I'm going to speak, as well as my counterpart, Carolyn Stern, at the Center for Hearing and Communication. But most important is that we're both going to have technology experts. Our technology expert, Angel Pacheco, who's in charge of our Adaptive Technology Center, will be speaking about some of the innovations in technology for people with vision impairment. And there's really, it's like every day there's something new. He'll be talking about some of the specific devices that have been developed, things like the OrCam, which can attach to people's glasses. It's pretty phenomenal what's going on now, where people who can barely see or can't see at all can actually attach something to their glasses that can look 60 feet ahead and tell you what's there. You just have to say, what's in front of me, and it'll answer. Now, that's on the elaborate high-tech end for people who have barely any vision. But what we're also doing is providing some tips and some apps that are available that are really beneficial to anybody, especially people as they get older who are experiencing certain, visual issues like trouble with contrast or trouble with reading fine print. We can take devices, we can help people with devices that they already have, like a smartphone or a tablet, and show you some of the hidden features there. They're not always that hidden, but to me they are. Learning how to access the features that are built into some of the devices that we all have, as well as apps that you can get. And we'll be doing comparable training and comparable demonstrations with hearing technology, which has also advanced tremendously. I'll tell you also that Lighthouse Guild, we can offer evaluations for people. We'll be talking about that also, which is kind of unique, through an occupational therapist, to see what types of technology are best for the individual for vision, as well as other aspects of what an OT can handle. So, and we're going to be opening a technology center later this summer, which we'll talk about a little bit as well. So that's, I can't speak specifically for what the hearing components will be, but it'll be, as I said, pretty comparable. And, there'll be an opportunity for Q&A. So we're very excited to kind of kick off our virtual workshop series with CB7 Senior Task Force. And, I encourage everybody to spread the word, certainly, tune in that day. And Roberta, have we gotten any RSVPs yet?
I haven't checked. We haven't gotten any phone ones, and I have to check with April.
Okay. And we're publicizing, right? I know we got Helen Rosenthal's, blurb on it. Whatever publicity we can do. And yes, thank you, Cindy. And, whatever publicity, if you see things that are tweeted, please forward them, share them, whatever else. Yes, Madge, you have a question?
Is there an outreach into Douglas and Amsterdam houses? Because that was a little difficult last time around when we tried to get people to come to something. Is there any way we can reach out to people who don't already maybe have internet?
It's going to be hard. Goddard Riverside has reached out to people at Amsterdam House and Amsterdam Editions. Because it's a webinar, it's hard to, you can phone in, but you can't really see some of the stuff. The Center for Hearing and Communication is providing a live person to do, instead of just captioning, they will be doing sign language live.
Great, thank you.
So we're reaching out to the media. I'm hoping that we'll get on, I'm hoping that it will get onto the link. I've asked the office to put it on the link. So it's 2 weeks, so we need to really start pushing as much as possible to get as much publicity out as possible. I will send a copy to the few people that didn't get one. But it's going to be very exciting. So one of the things.
Can I just ask you, following on to, I think what Madge just said, do you have a way to reach out to the TAs at the NYCHA buildings?
Well,
or do you want to?
Goddard Riverside's reached out
We
through
can.
North.
Yeah,
And
we
like-
have a listserv. We have a
And
listserv.
Sandra Thomas, I think, has the
Yeah, we have a listserv of
Oh,
the
great.
tenant resident leaders. We will forward it to them.
Great.
Thank
That'd be
you.
great.
Yeah, that's a great. And I'll ask Wish to send out to all of their people. I'll follow up on that today. So it should be a very exciting program. We're having a dress rehearsal next week.
I'll print some copies and get them into the urgent care on the Upper West Side. And then I'll also distribute it to the providers that work there so that they know and can mention it to patients as appropriate.
Fantastic. Thanks, Dan.
And it's not just for people who are vision or hearing impaired, it's for family members or caregivers or, people that want to learn about the technology.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. And like I said, since, the older population, even if you don't have a diagnosis, I think there are going to be some good tips that come out of it in terms of how to access a lot of the alternative features, adaptive features in the technology that we have.
Right. So the next item on our agenda is what to do next. And I know some of you have been reaching out to me with some thoughts. Daniel, I think you had
Yeah, so Mount Sinai and myself are looking to get back out in the community in a safe way. And we'd like to support around something else. So it's not within my capacity to produce something ourselves, but for instance, providing safety elements, so hand sanitizer units and masks and etc. Could be something that we could support a community board event. Something in the summer outdoors. I'm not sure where we're thinking yet, but also having a doctor out there to talk about vaccines or something on those lines, I think is where I'm trying to get to and get back out in the community. So that's where I want to support. So I'm curious what everybody else thinks that they want to do.
Art.
Yeah, that sounds good, and sounds like, I know that the senior centers, I've been hearing we may be doing some grab and goes soon, and that might be something to definitely coincide with some reopenings of some of the senior centers that are around. That might connect with the timing.
Do we have any idea when they're going to open?
So I don't have it in my hand at this very minute, but I'm hearing in the summer we may be doing, not opening in full, but grab and go meals. So I don't have a date, anything to that effect.
Yeah, we were actually told we could apply to do grab and go. And I think one of our centers are hoping to do it in 2 weeks. Bonnie, I know would also have some information on that.
Yes, I was on a meeting yesterday with a United Neighborhood House, and grab and go can be started. It really depends on the center's availability to get up and going. So there are certain protocols that have to be put in place first that DFTA requires, depending upon how long the center has been shut down, and nutritional protocols that have to get approved before a site can open for grab and go. When the site opens for grab and go, it will be outdoors only. There will not be anything indoors at this time until we're told otherwise, and it is only for senior centers at this point. All other services, to my knowledge, still remain remote that are considered not like essential services, like Meals on Wheels, of course. So that's where we're at right now. I think it also is going to depend on the advocacy and the pushing. And I know that Borough President Gail Brewer lambasted our mayor recently about the fact that they are still closed because you can go to gyms and you can go to other places. And I'm sure seniors are going to those places, but they can't go to a senior center. So I think this is a response to the pushback from many people.
What are some of those protocols that you need to meet?
Okay, so you must have a heavy duty cleaning. If your center was shut down for an extended period of time, you have to have a heavy duty cleaning, deep cleaning done first. And the nutrition, each DFTA center is assigned to a nutrition a program officer and a nutrition, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the term, and a nutritionist. The nutritionist has to approve the menus. So that has to get done as well. The other concern that people have that we're hearing is that seniors really want to go back for activities. They want to go back, and down where I am, and they want to play mahjong and they want to play ping pong and they want to, they want to come and enjoy the activity. They don't just want to come and grab a meal and go home. So I don't know what other centers are hearing, but that's a concern that we have, is really how successful this program is going to be if they can't come and congregate like they want to, like they need to. And I think that the more pushback the council people can hear about what seniors want, I think the better chances for us to return to some sort of more programming.
But I think the question of protocols is relevant because we're not really, other than the couple that Bonnie mentioned, there are no protocols because we could open with safety protocols. We've been opening other programming. We're running housing with seniors in it with protocols, but seniors, I'm sorry, I cut you off, Roberta.
No, it's terrible.
And you were at the press conference. You were there with us.
I was there. I mean, the seniors, so there was a press conference in front of Goddard Riverside a few weeks ago with Gail, and the seniors were so happy to see each other. It was all they could do not to hug each other. It was breathtaking. And then Rod opened up the garden and let people sit in the garden for a little while, but you can't do that because it's against.
Right. So if DIFTA would let us, we could set chairs 6 feet apart in the garden, which is safe, and say, wear your masks in the garden, but we're not allowed to even do that. Even though we have a garden we could open up.
And they've probably all been vaccinated, right?
We have something like an 85% vaccination rate, and most of those who haven't it's because they have some medical reason.
So
what's running at about 85%.
Is there anything else the community board can do?
Push. I think that there needs to be a lot of advocacy, and there is a lot of advocacy happening within the spheres that I work in, Live on New York, UNH, United Neighborhood House, and United Jewish Appeal have been pushing back and really demanding that we allow centers to reopen. The challenge is they must provide us guidance. They must provide guidelines. And it's really, I don't know what the sticking point is. I don't know why the city has continuously decided we should not be open yet, where other programs, gyms are open. You want to talk about unsafe activity. I think that if a gym can open and use social distancing, I don't understand why a senior center can't open. A movie theater, all these places that seniors
and restaurants, right? So
well, their issue with the restaurant, and I kind of understood this back when our numbers were more concerning. In a congregate setting, unlike in a restaurant, you're going and you're sitting with your group. When you come to a congregate meal, you're sitting with other. So there was this concern for a long time. However, these people are more and more getting vaccinated. I don't think that concern still remains to be there. So I did understand their concerns about the congregate settings reopening for meals because they were all coming from different homes, potentially. So that did make sense to me, but I don't think that argument stands anymore when gyms are opening and movie theaters are opening.
Can senior centers be combined with vaccinations? They're giving them out in the strangest places now.
Yeah, many of us have hosted at vaccination events. That's a good question.
Because it might be that you have to be vaccinated to come to a senior center, and that could be one of the protocols and take care of a lot of the problems, the perceived problems.
Hi, can I just interject on that? So the next step after the grab and go meals that are going to be distributed outside is also that the senior centers will be providing vaccinations to older adults, but that would be the next step after the grab and go.
Okay.
That was what the Department of Health has told us.
Good. Eric?
Yeah, all really important points that everyone's making. Hi, everyone. This is Eric with Councilmember Mark Levine's office. I just wanted to emphasize that we're also um, looking to partner with Walgreens, who is offering to do pop-up vaccination sites. We've given them a list of, this has been conversations with Roberta, with Stephen Brown, about emphasizing the need for our community centers and our NYCHA senior centers to have pop-up vaccination sites. So we've given them a list. We're hoping to hear back from them in terms of a schedule where we can actually get shots to folks who need it where they live. So just want to let you know that we're still working on that front too.
So it looks like it's going to be difficult to do an in-person event without the centers being open.
Right, and I was just articulating, if we think about it, what I was hearing Daniel say is something was going to be outside, and if people get up to volume with grab and goes, there may be an opportunity to do some engagements in, depending on space and dynamics, just offering it may be an opportunity to connect.
Right, right. So should we wait to see how this, the first forum goes and then decide to do a second forum? And maybe if we meet again in June, we'll know more about when things are opening and if senior centers are opening. I mean, it's very hard to open a place when it's shades of gray and not black and white, that you have to do specific.
Well, I'm interested in actually what we can do a bit before that. I don't think that we're going to be doing in-person forums till probably the end of the summer, if only because so many people are hesitant to gather within a building. But in terms of advocacy, what can we do? I mean, can we get out more press stories? Are we concentrating on council members? Who do we write to? Who do we talk to? Because it doesn't make sense. And
it's the mayor. It's the mayor.
He's busy. Okay.
What about DIFTA?
Do we write him a letter? Do we?
Yes.
Do we have any advocates at DIFTA?
Inadequate, but we could start with that.
Madge?
Do we have any advocates at DIFTA?
I know DIFTA actually is with us on wanting to reopen, from what we understand, Mitch. I think it's the, whoever said the mayor, I think that's correct.
So no one at DIFTA has good enough relation with the mayor to get to him.
Well, the task force can write a letter and ask the board to, and ask Stephen to sign it. With, if it's okay with everybody on the task force to use, not the electeds, but all the not the elected reps, but everybody else that's on the task force, if we can use your name and as co-signatories. Is that okay with everybody? Okay, then we'll draft a letter. Anything else happening that we should know about? Paula, what's happening with your group? You're muted.
Hi, how are you? Sorry, I had to jump off. We're actually doing a table on Broadway today and someone just dropped off the table. We recently participated in the 111th Block Association. I don't know, it's a little right north of where you are, but it's been doing some really, really great community advocacy throughout this whole year. They had a huge rummage sale. It was very, very successful, really got people out. It was a beautiful Saturday. So I don't know if there are any block associations in other parts of the Upper West Side, but they've been kind of inspirational. They've done a historical tour. They did a restaurant sponsored night. They did a Halloween thing for the kids outdoors when trick-or-treating was shut down. So we've been working with them lately. We are still also mostly virtual. We have some fully vaccinated volunteers walking with some fully vaccinated seniors, getting outside a little bit, so that's good. But our groups are all still meeting online.
Can you share the flyer with some of the block associations?
What's that?
Can you share the flyer for the webinar on the 26th with some of the block associations?
Oh yeah, sure, I'll send it over to them. That would be really great.
Great.
It's not a bad idea. In fact, I was really sorry I missed it. I knew about it and I missed it. Just a way of getting out. And I think that seniors, this may sound prejudiced, but really enjoy rummage sales and thrift shops and going around and looking at things and saying, oh, I gave that away 15 years ago, that kind of thing.
I enjoy that type of thing.
Yeah, we had a lot of young people, a lot of Columbia students came and, you know, they would pull out a jacket or pull out, you know, whatever. It was a really, really fun day. And it took up it went from Riverside to Amsterdam. And I think I don't know if you know, but the open streets on Amsterdam looks like it's going to be permanent. So it's closed every Saturday and Sunday, 1:10 to 1:11. And the chairs are just in the street. A lot of times there's a band playing. It's really festive. Again, that they've been giving us so much information about the history of these streets that I did not know. Apparently I live on a former tobacco farm. Never knew that. So if there is anything else like that on the Upper West Side, there's been a great response to it.
I mean, I don't 100% know how this all works, but if we're running into problems doing stuff at the senior centers, can't we go on a field trip and do it in the open street with the block association?
We could do that. We could also ask Lincoln Center if we can use some of their space.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're eager to make it open for community use.
The outdoor space.
Yeah.
Which part of the outdoor space?
I don't know. I'll reach out to my contact at Lincoln Center and see. There are also 2 streets on the Upper West Side that are designated for cultural events. One is, I believe, 75th Street, and there's another one on 62nd. Is that right, Rita?
Mhm.
I think they dialed back the.
I think
the
it's
one-
75th.
It's just 75th because PJ Clark's was concerned because of the bike racks on one side. Unfortunately, I think that didn't go through.
Can I just add something? I just got an update from the New York City Veterans Group, and they're holding a picnic out in Sheep's Meadow this Saturday. And they're just getting all these veterans together, and they're just going to sit outside, and they're going to have a picnic, and they're going to do like, like bring food, like everyone brings different potluck thing. I just thought that was a great idea. And they're going to be out in Sheep's Meadow, social distance, and getting together. I mean, that could be something very simple.
And I think people are really, no pun intended, but they're hungry for it. I think people really they do want to get outside. They do want to see other people. But I've had people tell me, well, I don't want to go out by myself. Or I'm not, I'm having trouble getting motivated to go out. But if it's something like that, that's really great.
Yeah. And they said that they would have like someone on site with a table that if people had any questions about like benefit programs, because in the case of veterans, they're like they've been also home for so long, they haven't been able to get in touch with like various groups where they need information or like, and so they're going to have that aspect of it as well. So, it could be like a get together, but also like maybe get some information about what they need, whether it's vaccination, going back to the Mount Sinai idea where he wanted to give out hand sanitizers and, maybe information on vaccinations or something. So there could be that aspect of it as well.
I think that's a great idea. Let's start exploring some locations where we could, and some sponsors, Madge.
I wonder if Susan has ever gone to that park on 59th Street, very far west in the new buildings? And if people in Amsterdam use that park, or do they not, or is it too isolated for them or too far? Because maybe if there were a walking group to go there, it's such a lovely spot.
So we
awfully
have,
crowded.
yeah, we have
It's much
done
bigger.
walking, yeah, we have done walking groups, Madge, but at the moment, we're not allowed to do walking groups even.
Even that?
Even, even under supervision of our nurse.
Oh.
We do walking groups, we go to Central Park, we had a lovely walking group, we're not, you know, we could do it under the table, but we can't do it formally.
Okay, and I'm worried about Central Park, the Sheep Meadow, just because of accessibility, that some people might have difficulty walking in.
Oh, no, I wasn't saying it should be sheep. I was just saying, I just thought it's, when I read
It's a great idea.
invitation, I was like, I'm going. I want to see what it's all about, because we work with, our office works with veterans all the time. And I would like to see, you know, what it's like for them, you know, what that experience will be for them to kind of get together outdoors, and just to get a sense of like, what a great idea to at least like look at it. And I don't know how the veterans group put it together, but they did. And maybe it was under the table. I don't know, but you know, I'm definitely gonna stop by. I'll report back. I'm going to stop by and see what's going on over there.
Great, yeah, let us know. And
I will, absolutely.
I'll research some sites and ways to do it, so at least we have some idea. Susan, I see your hand is up.
Well, breaking news, as I'm sitting here, I just got an email that the city is looking at July 1st for full reopening, and that the bellwether for reopening is 70% staff vaccination rate. I don't know if that means percent or if it means citywide. But that's what I'm hearing as of this minute.
Fully reopening, like activities.
Fully
and all-
reopening for the city. They're saying that's the, I mean, I don't know what it means that that's the target date, but that's, it kind of aligns with what others were saying earlier in this meeting was July.
Some good news.
It is and it isn't. I mean,
Yeah.
it is if we have clear guidelines.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
you know,
Understood.
the
Understood.
stuff that-
Very much understood. Yes.
And it's not punitive.
That's interesting, because July 1 is also the date that President Biden announced that we would be reopening as a country, because we would be at a certain vaccination rate. So that's very interesting that it's for New York City, very similar to what the president was saying.
Well, if that's true, we could plan some real events. I mean, in person, not that our virtual event isn't real. Anybody else have Betsy or Susan from the JCC, anything going on there?
Well, right now, we're trying to test some small events, not really events, small groups on the 7th floor, a renovated 7th floor that's just designated for our department. We're trying to do 1 or 2 groups in July or August, just to test it out. We also have a rooftop, but we have to be careful because the day campers have to leave by a certain time, so we can't overlap with them. So we're just trying little by little to open up a bit. We're sort of just like tiptoeing towards it, but we're hoping that things will pick up. And we're also offering our first outing, bird walk. So that's coming up. So we're happy about that. It's like an outing for us. So that's where we are right now.
When is the bird walk?
It is, if you give me 1 second, I'll tell you, I have so many programs going on. Sometimes I'll be right back.
Bonnie, do you want to say anything about what your group is doing?
Sure. So I want to thank Roberta for inviting me and Susan for introducing me to CB7. I'm with Hamilton Madison House. I'm the Assistant Executive Director of Older Adult and Community Services. The 2 great programs that we offer that fall in line with the location of CB7 is our caregiver programs. We have one caregiver program that is citywide, that is for all, focuses on the Asian population. What we look for are people that are dyads. So that means that there's a caregiver and a care receiver. And a caregiver can be virtually anybody. It doesn't have to be a parent or a child or a family member. It can be a neighbor or a friend. And we can provide various services to this dyad that helps support the caregiver in their caregiving role. And we also offer a Manhattan program that's Spanish and English, and that runs all through the lower Manhattan, up to 59th Street on the east side and up to 110th Street on the west side. And I can send out the pamphlets, the brochures that we have, so that if you have members or participants that you're working with that are in need of caregiver services, they should definitely reach out to us, because we are taking new referrals at this time. And we really know the importance of the role of a caregiver, and that it can become very stressful at times, especially during the pandemic. So that's us. And the languages for Asian are Chinese, Japanese, and Korean.
Did I miss anybody?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So, I'm just trying to explore ways that we can help and that I can help here. It seems trivial, but kind of distributing hand sanitizer to you all to use, hand sanitizer clips that you could give out to anyone and everyone that you're trying to explore may be helpful to you guys. There's like sending a couple hundred of these hand sanitizer clips to like everybody on this call to give to whatever program, like the bird walk or whatever. Would that be something that would be helpful to you guys? Would you use them and give them out to constituents as you guys were trying to do stuff?
I would. I mean, we have housing, so in addition to whenever the grab and goes start up in a few weeks for us.
Oh, that'd be great to do with the grab and go.
Mark, how many grab and goes do you think you're expecting?
Yeah, I mean, I can email you with the senior center folks, so I don't want to over or underestimate in that area, but I do know that it would be useful, and I can get you the information post the call.
Betsy, how many are you expecting on the bird walk?
We have a maximum of 15. So people will come with masks, keep socially distant. So this is our first real outing. So it's very exciting. People really want to, I think it was Susan who mentioned walking tours or something. People really want to go walking with somebody. Right now, we're hearing that a lot. I just can't have anything like, organized, but people really want to go walking with people. They really want to get out, really want to be with friends, or it's just very, at least the weather's nicer, things are opening up a bit, but we just can't organize anything like that yet. But I'm hoping maybe under the table. I think Susan, you said that, or someone said under the table, like black market walks. I don't know. People are excited to get out. So that's what I'm hoping. We can sort of have some small groups doing that, but that's not yet actually happening.
So it's like prohibition. We have the black market for walking.
And we'll slip you a little bottle of alcohol from Mount Sinai at the same time.
Hand sanitizer.
Yeah, I know, I'm joking because they're alcohol based. So Daniel, we have 125 that we're projecting for our grab and go. They love those little hand sanitizers. They are so popular.
Yep.
So I'm projecting, I have to go back to my boss and make sure I can do this, but if I send, 250 hand sanitizers to everybody on this call, the small ones, the 2-ounce bottles, would you guys use them and give them out?
I think just the people that represent organizations.
Yeah. So Susan and Mark and Betsy and Bonnie, am I leaving people out here? I mean, Janet,
Can
would
you
you
use
like them? Yeah.
I mean, we probably could, I don't know, we could get a sampling. It would be helpful to give it to people, sure, clients.
Am I leaving anyone out? I'm sorry if I am.
Paula, could use them?
We could use them. We don't, we're a little less direct. Everyone that we're serving lives at home, but yeah, we could definitely use them.
Oh, we could always use, they love free stuff.
I
Trust me
work
on
with
that.
little size hand sanitizers. I think they're great.
Yeah.
Oh, another thing that, just to mention is we are very much involved in a nonpartisan, get out the vote event, because we're very concerned that people are not going to understand ranked choice voting, what they have to do when they go to the polls, especially people that are limited English proficiency. So we've been doing a bunch of events down here for Get Out the Vote. I know that there's been some other programs throughout the city that have gotten funding to help promote and get people registered to vote before the primary, because a lot of people, I just feel in the city, when it's not the presidential election, not everyone, but many, tend to not get out the vote. And this election is just so important because there's so many seats up in the city council as well as the mayoral election. And I think that's another thing we're really trying to explain, just how important the local elections are, as well as the larger elections.
That's very important. Daniel, why don't I get you a list of the people that with addresses?
Let's do it. Yeah, I think I want to make that happen. I think it's a great thing to do, and let's do it.
That's great. I'll get you the list of names and addresses.
That would be amazing, Roberta. Yeah, I was just going to say I'll connect and we'll get the mailing addresses.
Right. So the Get Out the Vote is interesting. Is that something we could be working on, helping with?
Man, I would say that would be excellent. I think that would interest me.
I can send you some materials that were given to us that might be like different types of tools and resources regarding ranked choice voting, because that really is a serious concern, and I really don't think that it's been given enough attention.
Yeah, I mean, you've made me think about making sure that that's inside of our tenant meetings for our residents and tenants, and also kind of passing it over to the senior center to try to see if we can get some sort of online class in our senior center about that as well. And I've been seeing the ads that are up where you can put your smartphone on it and try to practice for fun, but I think it's going to be hard for me to to switch and think.
Well, the other thing is too, you can't vote for one person 5 times. That doesn't work either. Like, you have to, and you won't be able to, like, I guess the way the system is set up, it won't allow you to do that.
Right.
But
definitely understanding how your ballot can be thrown out as well and invalidated based on those kind of choices is very important.
Just to add that in addition to education about the ranked choice, having people request absentee ballots if they'd like is also important, and knowing that they have the option for a more accessible ballot if they're visually impaired or otherwise as well. And I can drop the link in the chat to how to do that, but education around that as well, just coming up.
And then there are also deadlines with that, and it's a 2-part process when you're doing an absentee ballot.
Yes, a lot of education to be done.
Anybody else?
Yeah, Roberta, I just want to add one thing. I think we touched upon many of the things, so I won't have too many things to talk about, but Councilmember Rosenthal, her new bill was just passed yesterday by the City Council for the plastic straw ban, which is effective November 1. And it was a joint effort between disability groups and the environmental groups. So we're really excited about that.
Does it seem like whenever, if ever we do an event this summer, we should give out metal straws,
Yes.
right? Like as the giveaway, as a giveaway?
It could be metal, it could be bamboo, just nothing but plastic. Yeah. There's a lot of different types of materials, absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of people now are carrying their own straws around.
I will say this though, one of the important parts of the legislation is that plastic straws will be available upon request at restaurants, food vending stations, and that's because there are people that must use plastic straws.
I have to call you right back. That's great.
Yeah.
So we have our May 26th at 10:30. Everybody got the flyer except probably Betsy and Susan, so I'll send it to you. And I'll do follow-up with you, Daniel, on the hand sanitizer. Do we want to have our next meeting the second Thursday, which would be June 10th? Is that good for everybody?
Roberta, can I
Yes.
add, sorry, can I add one more thing or a couple more
Sure.
things that are really important? Okay. There's going to be an immigration Q&A that the New York City Council is doing with CUNY Citizenship Now. It's going to be on Thursday, May 27th from 11 to 3 p.m. The New York Public Library is now entering phase 2 of reopening, which means that there will be certain branches open for computer use and going into the library and actually pulling their own books. On the Upper West Side, there are no branches yet, but the next phase, which should be in a couple of weeks, will include the Riverside Branch Library. Oh, and one more environmental thing, which is really, really important. The Upper West Side is going to get 3 new electric vehicle charging stations. One on West 93rd Street, one on West 86th, and one on West 70th Street. So that's pretty exciting.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it really is. Sorry.
At the next meeting, so the next meeting is June 10th, and we'll talk there about what we want our next workshop topic to be. Is that
right? And let's start thinking about, we'll also know whether we can consider doing some in-person. I'll check for spaces that we might be able to use that would be conducive to social distancing and outdoors. The only problem with planning an outdoor event is you never know what the weather's going to be.
right?
And I plan any.
That's why they create rain dates.
Yeah, I was going to say rain dates, exactly.
Right. Does anybody else have anything they want to add? Then I want to thank everybody for coming and hope everyone will be with us on the 26th.
Great meeting, Roberta.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye. Thank you all.